Hey pals and palettes, welcome back to my channel. It's Gurp Dhaliwal from Capture Studio. I am here today with a bare face. I did a post on Instagram and you guys decided that this would be today's video. Thank you so much for voting. I want to show you guys how to create a very soft, dewy look with keeping everything quite natural. The sun has been shining and it's been really hot lately. I just wanted to show you how I take those elements and work it. I tend to get really oily, but I make it look like I'm trying to look dewy. I'm gonna be going to a dinner later too, so if you want to see how to create kind of like a spring glam look, please keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is I want to really, for this look, I know I'm gonna play up my lips and make sure that my brows are nicely done. I just went and got them done too. This is by Image Skincare and it's a sheer pink lip enhancement, and this actually makes your lips 40% more fuller, and I'm all for that because I'm trying to play them up. For some primer, I'm gonna be using the Pores No More Luminizer Primer by Dr. Bandt. I want the skin to look very fresh and I want it to look very even, so I'm going to take the MAC Prep and Prime and just apply a little bit underneath the eyes. I personally like to color correct because I feel like it just evens out the skin tone and just creates such an even canvas. Although I look like I'm matching my background right now, it's nothing too excessive. What I'm going to do now is jump into foundation. So for my foundation, I'm going to be taking the Too Faced Born This Way, and this is in Natural Beige. I have been going back and forth between some foundations and I keep coming back to this one during the springtime. This just glides on my skin so nicely. I stick to evening out my skin tone. So this is all that I'm doing for foundation. And I'm just taking this all over. That was one pump. 1.5 maybe. Making sure I put some on the eyelids as well. This has been like my go-to. Went to the beach the other day for Mother's Day and it's something similar because it kind of looked like you woke up with such beautiful skin. And I wish that was the case. So my hair is actually really long. I don't know if you guys can even tell because of how close I am to the camera. I cut my bangs today by myself because yeah, I like to do weird things. I cut my bangs myself because I just felt like I needed something to frame my face, and right now they're just sticking to me. This is so bad. So I'm going to be taking the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer. This is perfect for a spring look because it's waterproof. So you can take some of this product and move it up. So it's okay to not use so much product. A lot of times we think we need to load up and put a lot of product, but that's not the case. If you need to, you can go back and add more. But for these kind of looks, less is more. So tonight we're actually going to dinner, a late Mother's Day dinner that my sister is setting up with my mom and her soon-to-be mother-in-law. We are going to Tasty Indian Bistro, which if you live in Surrey, you know exactly what that is. It's a go-to Indian restaurant and has amazing food, so I'm looking forward to that. So I have a little dry patch underneath this eye and I'm wondering if it's eczema because I have a lot of eczema like on my hands and I sometimes get it around my lips. So I don't know, my skin's been very odd lately. Alright, so once I have that done, I always want to set the under eyes. Even if I don't end up setting my whole face, I make sure that I set the under eyes. So I just have it like that. I'm going to be taking this brush. This one is a Sonia Kashuk brush. So this is what it looks like. It's very dense at the end, so it'll help me pack on the product really well. So I want to show you a trick. So you know how on these lashes I put a lot of powder? You're going to go ahead and do that. So make sure you put some powder on the lashes. You're probably wondering, why would I do that? If you are going to do just mascara, this thickens the lashes. Just make sure that you don't get powder in your eye, obviously. So I'm just going to go ahead and dust the lashes with some powder as well, and I'm gonna look really goofy now. But the only other place that I want to set is just my T-zone because I'm okay with the skin just doing its thing and being kind of dewy. So I'm gonna go in with the Cover FX Pressed Mineral Foundation in G40. I am going to do my brows now because things are starting to look a little wild. So let's go ahead and do the brows, and today I'm going to be using the Quo Precision Brow Pencil. I discovered this yesterday while I was doing my makeup and I was in love with this because it just glides onto the skin so nicely, and this is in brunette. It's so nice because this product allows you to really create those precise lines, more so than the Anastasia one, I find. Don't get me wrong, the Anastasia one is really nice, but this just gives you a little bit more smoothness, so I can really create small little strokes like this downwards to make it look like real hair. So now that I have the brows done, I also like take a little bit of the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel and just run a little bit through the hairs. So upwards here and down like that. So moving on, let's get some color back into the skin, and I'm going to be using the Sephora palette. I'm going to be doing this in a giveaway. I did mention it a long time before in a different video, but I never ended up doing that giveaway because I did a different one instead. So this palette along with the Sephora highlight palette will be in a giveaway soon. So make sure you guys check out my Instagram because that's where that's going to be. So I really like this palette because you can contour with it and you can also bronze up your face with it, which is what I'm going to do. So whenever I do like a spring kind of look, I always like to bronze up the skin instead of overly contouring. So I'll go in with like this shade and this one and mix it up. So first I'll kind of show you, I'll take a little bit of this guy, and I'm taking a angled brush for this. So when I do a bronzer, I make sure that I work it back into the hairline and up into the forehead as well. So you can see this is really warming up a skin tone. It's bringing some color back in. So if you really need to, you can take your hand like this and push into the hair as well, so it looks quite natural. Since this bronzer is kind of like a pinky shade, I'm using it almost on the cheeks like this, kind of where blush would go. I'm gonna go in with this deeper shade right here, apply it into this space right here. And see how that kind of made it look really sunken in? We're gonna take our powder brush and brush this upwards ever so slightly. This is where the blending occurs. You guys have seen me mention this so many times. Whenever you are blending anything on this area, you wanna make sure you blend these guys up rather than down, otherwise it's gonna look like you have a beard. So moving on, so for the spring kind of looks, I'm not really into a lot of blush, so I like to stick with something a little bit more muted. So this blush is by Geek. It's called Infatuation. It's very muted and neutral. So I'm gonna take this. Sorry, you guys can hear Milo barking upstairs. Ignore that. You want to look rosy, but you don't want to look sunburnt. So see how it looks very seamless? We're going to continue with that look. I love how this looks very blended, and the brows are really working for me today, so I'm glad. So for highlight, you guys know that I love to really illuminate the cheekbones, and I like to go above the brows a little bit too. I like to go on the nose, everywhere where the sun would naturally hit you. It's just gonna illuminate and beam, and it just makes you look really healthy and glowy. Especially for springtime, this is such a go-to. I've been doing this a lot lately because it kind of draws attention away from dry patches. Today I'm going to be using the Pink Orchid Studio Lishkara highlight, and I have been really liking the Lishkara highlight. I feel like it's such a perfect tone for Indian skin and also for a lot of other skin tones. It has kind of like a champagne undertone to it. You do want to be a little careful with it because it is a really out there highlight, and if you are really not into highlight, then really tone it down when you apply this. I'm going to be taking my trusty fan brush. Also going to take a little bit above the brows because it just gives me such a dewy look. So now that we have that all done, I'm going to be taking the Smashbox primer water. This is my go-to. Honestly, I love just spritzing this once I have all of my powders done because it just stacks all those layers and makes them into one. So now that we have this dewy skin going on, we are going to move on to whatever we wish to do with the eyes. I honestly, whenever I'm doing like a spring look, I'm not really into a lot of eyeshadows, and recently I've been kind of drifting away from eyeliner too. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of definition to my lid because I have a hooded lid, so when I look at you head on, there's this skin right here that kind of sits lower, makes my eyes look smaller. So we're gonna elongate the eyes. What I've been really into lately is kind of doing like that monochromatic look. Whatever color I put on my cheeks, I'm gonna run this through my crease. I'm gonna take a little bit of that. So for my hooded lid, I'm going to be exaggerating this outer corner. So I'm just kind of dragging this outwards a bit. So it makes the eye look lifted. Who says you can't use a blush on your lids? I'm going to take the Pink Orchid highlight and just put a little bit underneath the brow bone. Also going to pop a little bit of this on the inner corners of the eye. I'm going to take a little bit of this shade right here. I'm just going to take it on my finger. It's like a creamy white shade. I'm just gonna push this on to the lid. So next, this is very important. If you are not gonna be doing any false lashes, you need to curl your lashes because we wanna get the maximum height in the lashes. I wanted to keep it real with you guys and not always have to put on false lashes because I don't always put them on, and I've kind of been embracing my natural lashes and been okay with it, which is a huge deal for me because I'm all about the false lashes. I mean, I love them and I'll probably put them on for a different occasion, but this is truly what I would do on a daily basis. I'm going to a dinner tonight, so let's just keep it real. Go ahead and curl. This is the mascara that I've been using. I like to use 2 different mascaras at a time. This one's really clumpy right now, but it just works for me. So this is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. If you get some mascara on the top, it's okay. You can go in with a Q-tip and clean it up once it's dry. I had lash extensions when I was in India. And by the way, you guys really wanted to see the story time for my experience in India, so I am gonna still do that video. That just reminded me, in India I had lash extensions and it was honestly one of the easiest and best things I did because I didn't have to do much with my makeup. I could just get up and go. It's been a couple months now since I've been back. I don't even know where this year is lying. Any light color liner will do, so this just makes your eyes look really bright. So for the bottom lash line, I'm going to be taking the same color that we had up in the crease, which was our blush, and just run that along the bottom. So I hope you guys all had a really good Mother's Day. I'm really trying to get my mom to come in and film a video. She gets away with it. So I want you guys in the comment section down below, please ask Queen D, can you do Gurp's makeup? Because I know you guys have been waiting to see that video and I don't know what she's doing. She needs to get on it. This is my Rimmel London. This is Spice. So my lips feel and look a little bit more plumper, so I'm gonna use some lip liner to really enhance that as well. And honestly guys, this is the finished look. I don't even apply lipstick sometimes on top of this color because I just like how it is. If I know that it's gonna do a lip liner, I will blot one time. So I'll take some tissue and I'll press my lips between the tissue. And then you can see that not much really came off. If I'm going to be eating or drinking something, this will still be okay. So then I'll just go back in and touch it up. And then I take my finger and just push this into the lid. All right, pals and palettes, that wraps up my spring glam look. This is very true to how I get ready when I am going out somewhere. And I love how the tones just flow throughout the whole look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a big thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in my next one. Thanks guys for watching.